Hey, so I've already packed everything for the giveaway and it's ready to be sent, but I struggle with my Instagram account because I can't log in. And anyways, I was just super busy in general and didn't have time to make a new account yet. But yeah, I was just wondering whether or not you would like to follow me on Instagram once I've made a new account. Oh, and by the way, I've made a Wattpad account, so in case you're interested, I will leave the link down below. Anyways, let's get started with the video. Someone knocked at the door for the fifth time now. Bokuto grumpily peeked through the front door's peephole in an attempt to figure out who was disturbing him. He almost screeched as he looked right into a pair of ocean blue eyes, but he managed to keep his composure and quietly thought about his next move. Of course Bokuto wanted to see his boyfriend, but it would be hard to explain the mess that he had made in the house if he ended up letting Akaashi in. In the end, the ace chose to ignore the knocking, because heck no, his boyfriend wasn't supposed to see the things that were going on in his kitchen at this point. Bokuto decided it was the best to stand right next to the door until Akaashi had left. The only problem was that Akaashi wasn't leaving. Bokuto-san, I know that you're home. The lights are turned on. What sort of joke did the universe come up with now? Out of all the days Akaashi could have shown up at his house, he had to choose to come over today. Bokuto unlocked the door in annoyance. Akaashi, what are you doing here? I totally didn't hear you knocking earlier. Bokuto prayed that his boyfriend had noticed his shameless lie. Of course Akaashi had noticed, but he decided to keep quiet. I've told you that I was coming over today to bring you the DVD back. Cloud Atlas was great, but a little sad. Akaashi scrunched his nose. Something smelled bad. Was it Bokuto? Had he showered yet? Maybe it wasn't Bokuto. Something was burning. What's that smell? I don't smell anything. The setter furrowed his brows as he looked at his boyfriend. He seemed way too nervous for someone who couldn't smell anything wrong. Akaashi didn't even have to rely on his sixth sense that he had somehow developed over the past year to notice that something was up. Bokuto's strange behavior was a red flag itself. After all, he was sweating nervously and wouldn't look Akaashi in the eyes. All kinds of scenarios of what and why Bokuto was doing whatever he had been doing earlier, and more importantly, why he was trying to hide his actions, were racing through Akaashi's head. The ace had been home alone. It smelled as if something was burning and smoke seemed to linger in the corridor. Had he been cooking? Oh no. No. Akaashi's mom detector went on, as he was well aware of the unarguable fact that Bokuto didn't belong into a kitchen. If he had truly been trying to cook, a disaster was bound to happen, and all he could do now was to pray that said disaster hadn't happened yet. Are you making dinner? No, I'm not. What is in his hair? Is it an eggshell? Akaashi wondered, but once again kept his thoughts to himself, because if he ended up making Bokuto mad by phrasing his words wrongly, the ace would just shut the door in front of Akaashi's face. And if that happened, he would have no other choice but to call the firefighters. You better choose your words wisely, Akaashi reminded himself. Offer help, but don't be too pushy. But something smells a little burned. If you need help, we could cook dinner together. I just took a bath. Oh, nothing's burning in my oven, it's just my new shampoo. Do you like it? It's burnt chocolate scented. Are you buying that? No, Bokuto-san, I am not buying that. The ace admitted defeat as he stepped aside in order to make way for his boyfriend. Akaashi prayed that he hadn't yet burned the entire kitchen down, because as long as the kitchen was not burned to ashes, he could help Bokuto fix whatever mess he had made. Akaashi coughed as he opened the door that led to Bokuto's kitchen. His legs stopped working at the side of the room, and it took him a second or two to regain his composure. The room was not only a mess with broken eggs and flour everywhere, it was also filled with smoke. The set aside, at least the kitchen was still standing. What happened in here? The ace flinched. It was obvious to Akaashi that he was trying to come up with some sort of excuse for all of this. Bokuto, being the proud human being that he had always been and always will be, would never admit his failure. He wondered what his boyfriend had attempted to cook as his blue eyes gazed over the eggshells. Omelette? But what about the flour? Maybe he tried making pancakes? Well, it didn't matter, and he was more interested in Bokuto's reaction anyways. So he just quietly turned around to face his boyfriend and patiently waited for the latter to come up with an excuse. Someone tried to break into my kitchen. They escaped, but the kitchen turned into this mess because I was fighting them. Akaashi stared at his boyfriend, unsure whether he should be feeling annoyed or amazed about how Bokuto had managed to come up with such a blatant lie. How is Bokuto able to keep a straight face while telling white lies? Would you like to take a second try? Yeah, go ahead then, Bokuto sighed. Last year Yukine baked such a great cake for you, and now that we're dating I feel like I should make a cake for you as well. Wait, you're actually telling me the truth? That's surprising. So, you were trying to make a cake for me? Yeah, but I don't have a kitchen scale and I never baked before, so I wasn't able to get anything right. You know, you don't have to bake a cake for me just because we're dating. But I wanted to. Why? Because I wanted to make you smile. Huh? Bokuto stared at the mess he had made in the kitchen. I'm such a bother most days. You deserve someone better than me, someone who makes you smile instead of giving you a hard time. Bokuto clenched his fists, still unable to look at his boyfriend's face. I know I'm not a good boyfriend, I'm too focused on volleyball volleyball, and I know that I can be a pain in the ass, but you still keep up with me. I wish I could give you what you deserve. I wish I could give you what you deserve. Akaashi felt a wave of guilt crushing over him. Had he made Bokuto feel like he wasn't a good boyfriend? Bokuto-san, look at me. No, but I'm smiling right now. That's not true. You couldn't possibly be smiling when... But I am. Because I love everything about you. I love the way your eyes sparkle when you talk about volleyball. You bring out the best in me. Just look at you. You tried so hard to bake a cake for me even though you had no clue how to do it. I couldn't be happier. You really are the best boyfriend ever. Were his words enough to cheer Bokuto up? Akaashi secretly prayed that his parents weren't coming home anytime soon. Bokuto's laugh snapped him out of his thoughts. Of course I'm the best. Say, Akaashi, will you stay over tonight? I want to be the first one who wishes you a happy birthday tonight. Akaashi quietly thanked God. Lucky for him, his words were enough to pull Bokuto out of his emo mode. Yeah, sure, but let's clean up this mess first. Have you had dinner yet? Maybe we can eat something together later. It took them a good 2 hours to clean up the mess. Bokuto was like a toddler and constantly shifted his focus from one thing to the other. In the end, Akaashi had kicked him out of the kitchen while he told him to hurry up and shower and finish cleaning by himself. How did I go from setter to housewife? Akaashi asked himself as he soaked in the hot water. A second later, the smoke alarm went off and he sprinted to the kitchen. Bokuto-san, what happened? You said we'd eat together, so I tried to make dinner. What were you trying to make? Chicken nuggets in the microwave. Yeah, it was written that you could microwave. A cloud of black smoke greeted Akaashi as he opened the microwave. Bokuto-san, yes? Why didn't you remove the packaging beforehand? What do you mean? I thought I could just pop the entire thing in. Hey, why are you naked? Are you trying to seduce me? Oh my god. Yeah. Bokuto definitely had a couple of screws loose in his head, but as long as he was around, things never got bored.